10 amazingly magical voices. That was the topic of our previous video. You thought that was all I had? Come on, have a little faith in your Uncle Swan. 10 more coming up. Hey there, Swan Shadow here. Welcome to the nest. In our previous video in this series, we looked at the first 10 of 31 female vocalists whose voices I love. We're about to dive into another 10. Again, these are not ranked, they're in no particular order. As before, I'll note a single track for you to give a listen to if you want to understand why that particular voice resonates with me. Links will be in the description below. Of course, you can list your favorites in the comments. I'd love to find out who you are grooving on. That said, let's consider 10 more magical voices. My number 11 is Ann Wilson of the band Heart, as well as various solo projects. The lead singing half of the sister duo at the heart of Heart, although the other Wilson sister, guitarist Nancy, is a pretty fair singer herself. Dreamboat Annie, as I like to call her, deserves a lofty place in the pantheon of rock's greatest vocalists. Although she's probably most recognized for her impressive vocal power, Ann is equally expert at displaying her softer, more sensitive side. Crazy on You, one of Heart's breakthrough singles, provides Ann with opportunities to share all the shades of her vocal spectrum. My number 12 is TLC. There wasn't one standout vocalist in TLC, but the unique combination of the three, Tion Boz Watkins, Lisa Left Eye Lopez, and Rosanda Chili Thomas, brought a synergy that was potent, heartfelt, relentlessly positive, and socially conscious. Massively influential, they paved the road for dozens of female groups that followed. And it's easy to forget how successful they were, breaking free of any genre box they might have been pigeonholed into. Nearly 3 decades after their heyday, TLC still owns more chart success here in the US than any other girl group besides the Supremes. And with 65 million albums sold, they've sold more records worldwide than any girl group besides the Spice Girls. It's hard to fathom that it's been 23 years since Lisa Lopez was killed in a car accident while doing humanitarian work in Honduras. Rest in power, Left Eye. My number 13 is Tracy Chapman. Tracy Chapman occupies a space that, for me at least, very few singer-songwriters inhabit. The perfect marriage of soulful, deeply personal music with a voice so ideally suited to that music that it would sound wrong if sung by almost anyone else. If you've ever heard another singer cover a Tracy Chapman number, you know what I mean. I'm looking at you, Luke Combs. By the same token, it's also difficult to imagine Tracy's voice navigating through random pop songs. Just as her songs need that special voice to sing them, that voice cries out for those specific songs to sing. Number 14 is Christine McVie of Fleetwood Mac. Stevie Nicks gets most of the attention when it comes to Fleetwood Mac, but let's not forget that before Buckingham Nicks arrived on the scene, the mighty Mac already had one of the most talented singer-songwriters in pop on board, Christine Perfect, later known as Christine McVie. Nothing against Stevie. I love her songwriting, if I'm not really all that crazy about her voice, but I have always held a particular appreciation for the genuine warmth and humanity, both in Christine's songs and in her voice. Let's go ahead and say most of my favorite Fleetwood Mac tunes are written and sung by Christine, including Songbird. My number 15 is En Vogue. Give it up for the Queens of Oaktown. Unlike most of the female R&B groups that preceded them, En Vogue was conceived as a vehicle in which all of the members would share duties as lead vocalist, as well as contribute to the backing harmonies. Producers Denzel Foster and Thomas McElroy auditioned more than 3,000 singers for what was intended to be a trio. But when they heard the late arriving Terry Ellis perform, they couldn't resist adding her to the already selected Dawn Robinson, Maxine Jones, and Cindy Herron to form a powerhouse quartet. Although it's probably only my second or third favorite En Vogue track, I chose Don't Let Go, Love to spotlight here because it does a fine job of displaying the group's strengths and gives each of the members a chance to step forward. Ironically, given the title, it's the last song En Vogue recorded before Dawn Robinson departed, for the first time she'd be back, for her solo career. While I'm thinking about it, if you're enjoying this discussion, why not tap the thumbs up below and let the YouTube algorithm know? You'll have my undying gratitude, or something. Number 16 is Idina Menzel. I am not, in general, a huge fan of Broadway-style singing, but I do have a soft spot for Idina Menzel, who does that sort of thing better than almost anyone else I can name. Just ask the millions of adoring fangirls for whom Idina is the singing voice of their hero Elsa in Disney's Frozen. I saw Idina perform live in San Francisco during the national tour of the musical If Then. And even on a night when it was very evident that the actress was not feeling well, in fact, she left the tour due to health reasons shortly after that performance, she still sounded absolutely magnificent. Number 17 is Minnie Riperton. If the only thing Minnie Riperton accomplished in her tragically brief life was producing her daughter Maya Rudolph, one could argue that might have been enough. But long before Maya Rudolph was a comedy superstar, her mother Minnie was singing about her with a voice that many have imitated, but few have successfully duplicated. The technical term for Minnie Riperton's vocal gift is whistle register. I just call it magic. My number 18 is Bonnie Raitt. It seems almost a shame to include Bonnie Raitt on this list, because as fine a singer as I think she is, I think she's even more brilliant as a guitarist. Many women are applauded for their vocal abilities, but not many in popular music get equal acknowledgement for their instrumental talents. Bonnie Raitt's guitar playing is phenomenal. In fact, she ranks as one of the best bottleneck guitarists not only alive, but ever, in my opinion. But as amazing as she is on the fretboard, her singing is just as transcendent. She can seduce a lyric line as well as she can the neck of a sixth string. And when Bonnie sings, "I Can't Make You Love Me," well, she's totally wrong about that. My number 19 is Donna Summer. She'll forever be tagged as the Queen of Disco, but for my money, she's just the Queen, period. The singer-born LaDonna Gaines fronted a New York rock band and performed in musical theater and light opera in Europe before being discovered by producers Giorgio Moroder and Pete Bellotte. Their partnership and Summer's magnificent voice would permanently alter the face of pop music. Although she'll always be associated with the disco boom, Donna Summer's career long outlasted that genre's peak. She had 4 of her biggest hits in the 1980s, after disco had been declared dead. Not only a phenomenal vocalist, but Donna doesn't get enough credit for her songwriting. She wrote or co-wrote many of the hits with which she's most closely identified, including Dim All the Lights, her first solo composition to hit the top 10. And my number 20 is Leona Lewis, living proof that even Simon Cowell is right once in a blue moon. Leona Lewis rose to fame when she won the British TV talent contest The X Factor after years of struggling to make her mark in the music business. Like Pat Benatar, whom we discussed in our previous video, Leona comes to the world of popular music from a classical background. She's one of the most technically solid singers on this list. She has astounding range, but never sounds forced or strained. But, also like Pat Benatar, Leona doesn't let her training and technique overpower the richness and humanity of her vocals. And there we have it, 10 more magical voices. I hope we touched on some of your favorites. Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoy what we're doing here, please do me a solid and hit the thumbs up to like this video. You can also subscribe to this channel and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any of the content we have in the works, including the third and final installment of 31 Magical Voices, coming here very soon. Until then, be well, and you know the drill. Is there gas in the car? Yes, there's gas in the car.